All right, hello and welcome to Daf Yomi, Maseches Megillah, Daf Dalet, number 4. Unfortunately, I waited the whole day for Shmuel to come, to show up. He never showed up. And you know why? I'm especially upset because I bought something special over here. The Glenlivet single malt Scotch whiskey from Speyside, or the Spey River in northeastern Scotland. It's owned by Pernod Ricard, second biggest owner of distilleries in the world. It's supposed to be very good, single malt. Some people swear by single malt. I'm going to compare it eventually with Johnny Walker and see whether blended or single malt is really the better Scotch. I'm going to have to drink by myself. As I mentioned yesterday, the reason I bought this is because since we're learning Maseches Megillah, so as we know, there's a mitzvah on Purim to mishtaker, to get inebriated a little bit, to drink a little wine, schnapps, something. So since we're learning Maseches Megillah, so we don't have the Asiyah, it's not the day of Purim, but is the Zechira, it is the learning, the mentioning of Purim, Maseches Megillah. So we at least drink a chati shir, half a shot, every day of Maseches Megillah. I drink a coffee or also. Somewhere I read that coffee with liquor, followed by liquor, takes off 5 years of your life. I always thought that. I looked it up on Google, and they said that there's a cocktail called Irish whiskey. For those of you who don't know what it is, it's coffee mixed with Irish whiskey. So they mix together. It's a cocktail. Obviously, there's nothing wrong with it. So we're going to drink some. I just had a coffee, and we're going to drink some Glenlivet. If Shmuel does come by towards the end of this year, I'm going to let him. I'm going to drink with him. Nothing like opening a bottle of liquor. I'm not a big drinker, but you know what? For Maseches Megillah, you have to make sacrifices sometimes. So I'm going to make a sacrifice. Anyone wants to join me in this room? מי רוצה לשתות קצת? מישהו רוצה לשתות? Glenlivet. בשביל מסכת מגילה. לומדים מסכת מגילה, זה זכירה ולא עשייה. חצי שיר להשתכר. כל דף מסכת מגילה. תבוא, חצי שיר, כאן, זה Glenlivet, זה דבר טוב, single malt. תבוא, תשתה איתי. I need to get someone to drink with me, עד נגע לחיים. חצי שיר, you want? Come, you'll tell me on the camera. תגיד לצילום מה שאתה רוצה לומר. Come, תבוא, come on, זה סטוקים, come. תבוא, תגיד מה שאתה רוצה. אחד מכם רוצה לשתות, come on, drink, come on. בשביל הוידאו, הסרט, להיות שמח קצת. Come, שמואל לא בא. Come on, drink. One of you. A little bit, here. A little bit. What? I should come to you? You want me to come to you? This is for you. Come. You come on. Why don't you drink a little bit? Oh, come on here. All right, listen, I'm going to go over there and get them to drink because they're not coming to me. Yeah, I'm Ritzini. I'm definitely Ritzini. I'm definitely serious about this. I want to make sure other people are Makayim in the mitzvah. Here are my friends over here. They're going to drink with me. Who's drinking a half? Have a shot. Come on. Let's drink it. It's kosher. It's kosher. L'chaim, Chatzi Shir, Limon Maseches Megillah. Amen. Baruch atah. Olam shach. Kol niyam baruch. Amen. Tishteh. Shluchei mitzvah in Nizokin, and I'm going to drink for him. The video, kazeh erech, kazeh quality. I'll pay him. He thinks only 2,000 people watch my video. Such quality. No one else does this stuff on a Daf Yomi shir. This is Daf Yomi shir. All right, l'chaim. I'm doing 3/4 of a shir. What's your name? Chaim. L'chaim lo rotzeh liot. So l'chaim. It's his name is called Chaim. He doesn't want to do a l'chaim. Gam b'Maseches Megillah. Gam is learning Maseches Megillah. Anu lomdim Daf Yomi Maseches Megillah. Hu lo rotzeh liot l'chaim. Ani choshev. אתה צריך לשנות השם שלך. Ulai Chaim, Halayla, Yavo the Basin, V'Yishana Hashem Shalo. You learn the shtot. Im shoteh, Im shoteh, Efshar l'shaer Hashem Chaim. Im ata lo shoteh, ani choshev she'ata tzorech l'shanot Hashem shalcha. Ken? Tzodek, ani tzodek? L'chaim. L'chaim. Drink it. Tishtek, Zach. אני צורך שיר. No, come on. Okay. I really hope that he drinks this, because if he doesn't drink this, I'm telling you, I'm gonna come over to your house. I'm gonna make sure you change your name. All right? I thought I was having shikur kfar. Mazel tov. Mazel simchas. Kol any daf from Masechus Megillah I learn, I'm bringing this. I'm gonna have every day a l'chaim Masechus Megillah. So come, join. What's your name? Ma'ashem shalcha. Got dagam ken chaim? Shmuel. Oh, Shmuel. That's Shmuel Silver. So Tavo, another Shmuel. Maybe you can sit in for him. All right, we're gonna have to start the shir now. Now that we drank our l'chaim, this guy, these people think I'm crazy, but I'm telling you, Ze inyan chadash. You know, like in Yahadut, yesh mitzvos v'yesh inyanim. There's mitzvos you have to do. Yesh inyanim say yesh inyan litpalel etzal kever mashu skulos kever inyan ani matchil inyan chadash hayom. Kishtalamei Masechus Megillah shotim chatzi shir. Chatzi shir. Ze inyan chadash. This is going to be big. All right. All right. We're going to start from the bottom. Megillah Beis. All right. Amar Yeshua ben Levi. Yeshua ben Levi says, "Lod va'ono the geach harash on top of Dalet and Aleph. V'kavos chom Yeshua meimos Yeshua." You know, these three cities, if you didn't know, if they had a wall from the time of Yeshua, the conquest of Yeshua, they did Lod. We know what Lod is. Ono, there is a Kiryat Ono now, but I'm informed by Wikipedia that the present Kiryat Ono is not the actual biblical Ono. The biblical Ono is in a place now which is called Or Yehuda, close to each other near the Tel Aviv district. V'gei Charashim, the valley of Charashim, I don't know exactly what it is. All these places all had a wall from Yeshua and Nun, and they celebrate on the 15th. V'hani Yoshua Benani, the Gemara says, did Yeshua really build a wall? V'ha Ilpehel Benani, Ilpehel, who's later on, Dichsiv Bnei Ilpehel, Ever on Misham, B'Shemer, Hu Bana Es Onoves Lod of Noseh. He built Ever, Misham, Shamar, and Ono and Lod, and the other cities. Tamayach, according to your question, Asa Benani, a third person, built the king Asa. The Chsiv, even Asa started Absurah Shel Yehuda. Asa built the following fortified cities. You see, some of those cities were the aforementioned cities. Amar Elazar, Hani Mukavas Chom. Elazar answers, Hani Mukavas Chom Yos Yeshua ben Nun Havu. They really did have a wall from Yeshua ben Nun's time. Charuv me Pelagish beGiva. The story of Pelagish beGiva, the concubine of Giva, the walls were destroyed. Asa Elpehel Benani Elpehel came and restored the walls. Hadar Inpol, then they fell the walls partially. Asa Shapsinu. Asa went and refurbished the walls. Daikanami Dichsiv Ayomar Yehuda. Nivnes Aharim Ha'ela Miklal Aram Havu Mikara. He says Yehuda. This is a pasuk when it comes to Divrei Yamim. One of the later binyanim of the walls, building of the walls. He says, build the walls of the city. It sounds like it was a city, Mikara, it was a city with walls originally. Shema Mina, good proof. Amr Yishua Levi Nashim Chayavos, the Mikra Megillah. Nashim are obligated to read the Megillah or to hear the Megillah. Sha'af Hein Ayu also Nes, they were part of the Nes. Esther was the main part of the Nes. Amar Rabbi Yeshua ben Levi Purim Shechal Yos b'Shabbos Sholem Darshim Minyan Shal Yom. Purim falls out on Shabbos. You can't lay in the Megillah. We're going to see on Amud Beis. You don't lay in the Megillah, but what you do is you could ask questions of your rabbi, of your local Haredi rabbi. Ask him about the Yanim of the Yom. They'll give drashos on the Purim, my area. Purim. I feel Yom Tov Nami. Why is it only Purim where we talk about the halachas of Purim on Purim? I feel Yom Tov Nami. Every Yom Tov. This Tanya Moshe Dikelim Yishal Shu Sholem V'Darshim and Yanosh Yom Hilchos Pesach Pesach Hilchos Aseres Aseres Hilchos Chag B'Chag. The Gemara says, it's the Gemara end of Megillah, that Moshe was Masakin the Shalosh Regalim to talk about the halachos Bo Bayom. So the Gemara says Purim is tzrich. Purim is a chiddush. Ma the same with nigzar mishum derabba. Maybe on Purim we'll be more careful not to learn how to ask Hal Hilchos Purim on Purim itself. Because a Rabbah is Gzera. A Rabbah, we're going to see on Amad Beis, is Gzera. You can't lay in the Megillah on Shabbos because you might not know how to lay it. You go to a bucky, you're going to carry B'Shir Rabbim. Kamash Malan, we're not worried about Hotzah. You'll just ask the Shaila, you won't carry anything with you. Amar Shimon Levi, Chayav Adam Likros the Megillah B'Layla, the Shnos of a Yom. A person has to read the Megillah at night, the Shnos of a Yom. Now Shmuel's calling me. He's calling me in the middle of my shir. I can't stop my shir now. Ridiculous, Shmuel. I'm telling you, just come already, Shmuel. A person has to read the Megillah at night and repeat it. We'll see what that means. Repeat it in the morning, in the day. I called out to Hashem at night. He didn't answer. And I called out to him during the day. He didn't answer. I called out at the night, and he wasn't silent to me. So we answered him. Savar Mina. So you see, it's an Indian to call out to Hashem both times, during the day and during the night. Savar Mina lemikre bi'alio lemisna b'masnisin DW Mama. We thought the original explanation of Rabbi Shmuel Levi's statement was that you read the Megillah at night and you learn the Mishnayos or the Masechus Megillah during the day. The Shnosa does not mean to Shona Mishnayos, to learn Mishnayos. It actually means to repeat. We should repeat it like I'll learn this Parsha and I'll repeat it. He has to read the Megillah at night. And to read it again during the day. Hashem Elokai Lelamodeka. First part of the pasuk is, I guess, talking about the night, and call out to Hashem. I will always praise you, Hashem, even during the day. Repetition. Some people actually during Yeshivas Mordechai Tzaddik prefer to learn Masechus Megillah on the day of Megillah. It says you're not supposed to learn it. I mean, I did say before. This is okay. We'll make Elon Ben Sina over here. Now the Gemara had a Havamina over here. Elon Ben Sina over today. The Gemara says I had a Havamina that you're supposed to read the Megillah at night and learn the halachos during the day. The Gemara says no. Really, you're supposed to read it at night and repeat reading it during the day. We just learned before that if it falls out on Shabbos, there's an Indian Sholem Vidorshim Binyono Shal Yom. You learn the halachos of Purim on Shabbos, on Purim. But here it's saying that really it's better to read it during the day and not to learn the halachos. How do you answer this question? So we'll say a pasha answer for today. Maybe other people can comment. Leave in your comments a better answer. But the Gemara is machadish dafka on Shabbos. That's why the Gemara says only on Shabbos is an Indian to ask Hilchos Purim, because there's nothing else going on during that day. There is no Mikra Megillah. When you have Mikra Megillah, it obliviates or it gets rid of the Indian of learning Masechus Megillah on Purim itself. When there's no Mikra Megillah, you learn instead. But when you learn the halachos. But when there is Mikra Megillah, this would be a chiddush. There is no mitzvah to learn Masechus Megillah during that day. To learn the halachos during that day, it would be a big chiddush over here. Those people learn Masechus Megillah, don't learn Masechus Megillah, have fun on Purim, stop turning Mordechai Tzaddik Yeshiva into the whole day. It's getting out of hand already. I remember many years ago, people actually celebrated Purim. They ran around the house, different houses, they had a good time, dressed up in costumes, danced, had a good time, and had fun. Now everyone's learning all day. Yeshiva's Mordechai Tzaddik. Mikra Megillah twice. That's it. All right. Back to the Mishnah. The villagers could read on Yud Aleph Yud Beis Gimel all the day. If it fell out that day on Monday and Thursday. What's the rationale behind them doing it earlier? Is because they'll already have filled their chiyuv on Monday or Thursday, and then on Yud Daled they'll be able to provide the raw materials, the fruits and the vegetables they grow in their villages, to the people in the krachim, the people in the big city, so they can celebrate Purim with the proper food. and the proper goods. Where it says, Dalam Avez, the member of the Takan to the Kraken heavy. Are we saying that this whole takana for the kfarim is really a benefit for the big cities? Have you atnan chalios b'sheni? If it falls out on Monday, Yudalid Adar kfarim al yaros dilos karim b'yom. The villagers they read on that day Yudalid b'misa liktimul diyamakisa if they're needed to be available to provide food for the big city dwellers. So they should read it earlier. They should read it on the previous Thursday. When it says Havalu Asara lo Tikkun Rabbana. According to that chesh, when it would come out, they would be reading the Megillah on the 10th, the previous Thursday, and that we never found the Makor for in the Megillah. Tashma Chalios b'chamishi Kfar Mayaras Dilos Karim Bayon. Mishnah says it falls on Thursday. Even the Kfarim read on Yudalid. Misa Liktimul Diamaknisa the Echad Asaru. They should at least go back to Monday. They'll be free on Yudalid. Oh, the rest of Yamaknisa lo Dachila. There's a rule: you don't push it off. If you have a Yom HaKnisa, we're not going to push it off. They're already coming in anyway. You're not going to push it off to the previous day. I guess the rationale is that you don't want to triach them too much. Tashma, Amar Rabbi Yehuda, Imasai v'makom shenichnasim b'sheni v'chamishi. Aval makom she'eni chnasim b'sheni v'chamishi. There's this heter to apply to read on Yudal, Yubez Gimel. It's a place where villagers normally come to the city on Sheni and Chamishi to adjudicate their cases. Aval makom she'eni chnasim b'sheni v'chamishi, where that's not the normal practice. Ein korna sayla b'zmana. We only read it during its right time, only its appropriate time. On Yudal, if it's a benefit for the big cities, a place where they don't normally come in on Sheni Chamishi, they should read early on Sheni Chamishi and be available on Monday and Thursday on the day of Purim to feed them, to provide raw foodstuffs for them. My answer is the Gemara relents. The reason that they read earlier is not in order that they should provide food and water for their brethren. It's really a takana for the kfarim, the villagers, because they normally import their raw vegetables and raw foodstuffs into the big towns. So it's convenient for them. They're bringing it when they bring it. They're going to bring it when they come in to adjudicate cases on Mondays and Thursdays. So we gave them a kula that they're allowed to hear the Megillah on those days, because most of the people in the Kfarim are uneducated and they don't know how to read so well. So they'll be Yotzei, their Kriyas Megillah on the Monday and Thursday, which is Yud Aleph Yud Beis Yud Gimel. And it's a benefit for them, not for the Krachan. Gemara says, Ketzad Chal Yos B'Sheni B'Shabbos, Kfarim Yaros Delos Karm B'Yom, Ma'ishna Reisha D'Nakat Sidura Diyarch. At the beginning of the Mishnah, our first Mishnah says, Yud Aleph Yimikar Gillah Nikas, Yud Aleph Beis Yud Gimel. It talks about, it goes in the order of the month of Adar. Ma'ishna Seva D'Nakat Sidura Diyom. And then the Gemara goes and elucidates what happened. If it falls on Sunday, if it falls on Monday, if it falls on Tuesday. Are you going by the days of the week? Or are you going by the days of the month? Smart says, I did them tapale Nakat Sedura the Yomi. The Gemara says, if you would have gone with the days, we start off with the days of the month, and then we want to continue the next part of the Mishnah where we show how it practically plays out with the days of the month. It would ruin the days of the week. People get confused. It'd be like you start from I guess Friday or Thursday and you work your way back to Wednesday. It's out of order. It's not convenient to talk about it in ways like this because people normally go by the days of the week and they'll be confused. All right, Masis and Mani. The Gemara says Chal Yos Erev Shabbos. It falls on Erev Shabbos. What does the Mishnah say? It falls on Erev Shabbos. The Mishnah says in Beis and Aleph, Chal Yos Erev Shabbos. Kfar Magdil Yom HaKnisa. The villagers do it one day early. They read it on Friday. The four Bnei Yudal read on Yudal, and also the walled cities who normally read on Ted Vav would read it on Yudal also. Sisimani, here's our Mishnah. Your Rebbe Yossi. It could be either Rebbe or Rebbe Yossi, my Rebbe. What is the opinion of Rebbe? The Raisa says, the Tanakam and the Raisa says, it falls on Friday, so the Kfar and the villagers and the big cities, they go back and read on Yud Gimel. And the walled cities, they read a day earlier also, and they read on Yudal. Rebbe Omerani lo yidcha yaras m'kom. When he says both the Yaras Gedolos and the walled cities read on Yudal. Elu ve'elu karim bo bayom. They both read on Yud Daled. My time with Tanakam. What's the machlokes? Tanakam holds it says in the Megillah, like every year and every year. Ma kol shana v'shana yaros kod most mukafin. Just like every year, the big cities that are unwalled come before the walled cities. Afkana yaros kod most mukafin. So to this year also falls out on Friday. Yadal. Still, the ayaros, the big cities, have to come before the walled cities. So they read on your Gimel. Ve'ema b'chol shana v'shana ma kol shana v'shana and yidach and yaros mukoma aflo kan lo yidach yaros mukoma. Which is a different svara that just like every year the Yaros always read on Yadalit, so too this year they read on Yadalit. Shiny Hachad Levsha. The Gemara says can't say that because there's no other way of doing it. We have to make them read earlier than the walled cities. So even though normally they read on Yadalit, this year is going to have to be different. The Rebbe my time. What's his rationale? B'chol shana v'shana. It says b'chol shana v'shana. Ma kol shana v'shana. Ein Yaros dachin mukoma. Like the opposite svara. They always read on Yadalit. Afkan yidach yaros mukoma, and they also have to read on Yadalit. Ve'ema b'chol shana v'shana. Ma kol shana v'shana yaros kod muslim mukafin. Just like every year, yaros come before the mukafin, before the walled cities. Afkan nam yaros kod mukafin. Therefore, they should go before the mukafin. The Gemara says, "Shiny Hachad Lefsha." Rebbe holds. Obviously, it's impossible to do that. So therefore, they have to read Yadalit like every year. My Rabbi Yossi, what's Rabbi Yossi? She said, Tanya, another brayz. The Chalios Berev Shabbos falls out. Yadalit falls out on Friday. Mukafin v'kfarim maktim li'amaknisa. This is an interesting sheet. The Tanakhama in this brayz holds that the walled cities move up to 13 with the villagers. Ayaros Dilas Karim Babayom, and the big cities that are unwalled read on the 14th. Rabbi Yossi Omer. Ein mukafin kod melayars. You can't have the walled cities come before the unwalled cities. Like our Mishnah says, both the big cities and the walled cities read on Yadal. My time with the Tanakam. What's the reason of Tanakam of this second brayz? So the Chsiv, Chol Shana V'Shana. It says again in Megillah says there, like every year it has to be the same every year. Ma Chol Shana V'Shana Yaros Bar Basar. Every year, a Yaros, big cities which are unwalled, read on the 14th. There's Manosh Azelos, Manosh Azelos. We learned in a drasha. The time when the mukafin of the wall cities can't be like the Yaros Gedolos. Afkan, Ayaros Barbasar is Manosh Azelos, Manosh Azez. So therefore, Ayaros have to read, because that's the Iker, it says Prozim, the unwalled cities, it says in the Megillah. So they have to remain on the 14th. But we also need Manosh Azelos, Manosh Azez. So you can't read on the 15th because they are the Rabbah. So you have to move it up to the 13th. The wall cities read on the 13th, so the days are not the same. Rabbi Yossi, Shani, where are we? I'm sorry. My time. The Ganam de Siva Khalil. Afkan Ratul Barbasar was Manshel was Manshel. Ema b'chol shana v'shana ma kol shana v'shana ein mukafin kod min ayaros. Just like every year, mukafin can never precede the ayaros. Afkan ein mukafin kod min ayaros. How could it be? They'll be on your gimel. They come before the unwalled city. Shiny Hachad Lefshar. So the Tanakh says there's no other way of doing it. And it's more mistaber to do it. Yud Gimel, the walled cities. Yud Daled, the unwalled cities. My time with the Rabbi Yossi. So back to Rabbi Yossi in the second brayz. So what's his rationale? B'chol shana v'shana has to be the same every year. Ma kol shana v'shana mukafin kol min yaros. Just like every year, the walled cities can't precede the yaros. Afkan mukafin kol min yaros can't be the walled cities will have before the yaros. The Gemara says the other svara. B'chol shana v'shana ma kol shana v'shana is manosh zel lo is manosh zel. We have a drasha that mukafin. The walled cities can't be the same day as the prozim, as the unwalled cities. Afkan is manosh zel lo is manosh zel. Gemara says shani hachat lo efshar. Here, there's no other way of doing it. Ideally, we'd like to have different days, but here there's no other way of doing it. We can't have the walled cities preceding the unwalled cities. Does Rebbe hold that the main cities, when it falls on a Friday, don't go back to the 13th? If Purim falls out, Yadal falls on a Shabbos, the villagers go back to Yom HaKnisa. Thank you. He's just a mazel tov. He sees the liquor. Yeah, it is a mazel tov. We're learning Masechus Megillah. It's a mazel tov. So the Gemara says, Chaliyos b'Shabbos, Koran within the Maknisa. Yaros Dilos Koran be'erev Shabbos. The big cities read on erev Shabbos, which is Yom Kippur on Friday. Makavos Chomo l'machar, Makavos Chomo The walled cities read on the 15th, which is Sunday. Rabbi Omer Ani. Rabbi says, I say, once they're already pushed off, they can't read it on Yadal because it's Shabbos, so therefore they go back to the Yom HaKnisa, which is Yud Beis. There's Manom Shabbos. See, that's talking about where Yadal falls on Shabbos. Once they're already getting pushed off, you might as well push them off to the main day where the cases are adjudicated and based in, so push them off to Yud Beis. But when we're talking about where Yadal falls on Friday, then you read it on that day. Come on, who's the opinion that when Purim falls on Shabbos, everyone is pushed off to the Thursday, pushed back to Thursday. The first asks, everyone is pushed back. The walled cities read on Sunday, which is the 15th. Means to say anything which is pushed off gets pushed off back to Thursday. Come on, like Rebbe we just saw. The Megillah b'Shabbos l'Karina. It's apparent from all this discussion, the Megillah Esther is not read on Shabbos. My time. What's the reason? I'm a rabbi. Everyone is obligated to hear or to read Megillah Esther. Not everyone knows how to read it, or has someone to read it for them. We're concerned on Shabbos is going to take the Megillah Esther and I'll go to someone who is proficient in reading the Megillah to learn how to read it. I'm going to carry it for Amos behind the time of the shofar, behind the time of the lulav. That's the same reason we don't blow shofar on Shabbos, and we also don't carry a lulav because you have to go to the baki to learn how to blow the shofar and to shake the lulav. Rabbi Yosef Amar, a different reason. The reason you don't lay the Megillah on Shabbos is because Matanos Daf Yomi is one of the things that we practice on Purim, and the Aniyim connect Mikra Megillah, the reading of the Megillah, with getting Matanos Daf Yomi. So, and that's when most people give Matanos Daf Yomi. So, if you had the Megillah read on Shabbos, you can't give them money because money is muksa. So, it'll be a problem. The Aniyim are going to lose out. Rice like this. Even though we said Kfarim go sometimes back Yud Gimel to Yom HaKnisa, to the Monday and Thursday, go in Boba Yom Mechalkin. The Kfarim on Yud Daled, they go in Boba Yom Mechalkin Yom. You collect the stock on that day, seemingly on Yud Daled, and you give it out on that day. So tomorrow I ask, Alvish Amru, Adrab Mishum the Amru. Because they said, Elahol of Amr Shakfar Madil Yom HaKnisa, go b'yom Mechalkin b'yom. What it really means to say is, since they do it earlier, so that on that day, not on Yud Daled, on the day where they read the Megillah, on Yud Aleph Beis Gimel, that day they collect stucco from the villagers and they give it out. Yom Neshaneim Shanim Nesuos of Mikra Megillah. Because Aniyim's eyes are fixated on Mikra Megillah. Aval, read the last line, the first line of Hayam and Aleph. Aval, Simcha Eino Hagas Ala B'Zman. Simcha of Purim. Even the villagers, they wait till Yadalid and they have their Simcha, their Sudas privately in their own houses. They have the Simcha, the Mishnah of the Simcha. That applies, even though they'll read the Megillah earlier and they give them Matanos Daf Yomi earlier, the Mishloach Manos maybe, and for sure the Sudas of Purim apply only on Yadalid, because that's the real day of Purim. Hope you have a good day, good night. See you tomorrow.